Hello, friends, and welcome to the new episode of I Don't Work Here, Lady. And today is another fine day to tell 3 news stories on this topic. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story today. I wouldn't be sitting outside if I could let you in. I started working at a butcher shop when I was 14 or so, and this happened when I was like 18 or 19. So basically, I knew every customer since it's a smaller store. So I came to work like an hour early because, well, my mom started her work at 9 and I started at 10. So being the lazy 18, 19-year-old I was, I opted to sit on the chair outside the store while waiting for the boss to show up. Not 10 minutes after I was sitting there, a customer comes and asks me to let him in. I look at them and tell them the store doesn't open till 10, and if I was able to get in, I'd be sitting inside instead of sitting outside. Him and his wife start to give me crap, but I don't care and keep looking at my phone. They leave and come back 20 minutes later and give me crap about being lazy and that they were in a rush and wanted to get the meat so they can start preparing the food. Again, I tell them they can come back at 10. I can't even get in. Like, WTF, what's the point of me sitting outside? 10 o'clock on the dot, they're back and come inside, and I ask to serve them, and they get all pissy and tell me they don't want to be served by me, but they want to talk to my boss. So I call my boss over, and they start giving him crap about how I'm lazy and should get fired for being disrespectful. This is where my boss takes my side and tells them that the store opens at 10, and if they have a problem with how I treated them, they can go to another store. That day, he also gave me a key to the store so I can chill inside instead of waiting for him. And our second story. Hey, you in the blue shirt. I want to preface this story by saying that I've never actually worked retail a day in my life. I've never had to deal with customers asking me questions, so if anything seems a bit weird in the way I act in this story, that's probably why. Now, I work at an alcoholic beverage distributor in upstate New York. We distribute all sorts of alcoholic beverages to various stores and such around our area. Normally, I work in the warehouse helping unload and load trucks out for delivery, or I'm in the sign shop producing signs for our various accounts, stores that order our products. This means most of the time, I'm kept in the microcosm that is our office/warehouse, and I don't get out too often. However, I've recently been training as a merchandiser, someone who drives around to various stores and supermarkets and making sure our product is stocked and presentable, pulling from the deliveries in the stockroom in the back. A lot of people don't realize that most of the time, the people with the trolley stocking shelves are not actually employees of the store. You can see where this is going, right? On to the meat and taters of the story. Enough preface. I was on the third stop of my route at a large chain supermarket, very popular in the area. This was my first time alone without my training advisor, so I was focusing really hard to do a good job and impress everyone. One of our main selling products is a non-alcoholic brand of seltzers, sodas, and tonic waters. This comes in a variety of flavors and is hard to keep track of whether the orange bottle is mandarin or orange vanilla. So I'm back in the stockroom loading what seems like case after case of this stuff onto a trolley and bringing it into the aisle to load. I was wearing my normal work attire, which is a blue and white polo with a beer logo on front and khaki shorts with a price gun stuffed in the front. I stop at the part of the aisle where our product is and start assessing what needs to go where. Once I get that done, I get down to business. About a minute into my menial task, I hear something, like a slight whistle noise. I'm thinking, well, somebody probably just whistled and think nothing of it, but soon I hear something a bit more jarring. Finger snapping. Hey, you in the blue shirt, listen to me when I call you. Now, I'm probably the only one in a blue shirt because the employees here wear red button-downs with black pants, of which I'm wearing neither. So I look up and see a very PO'd-looking lady, probably mid-40s. I'm a little peeved at her tone, but I answer her. Me. Yes, ma'am, what do you want? This only serves to aggravate her further. Her. Who says you can talk to me like that? You guys are supposed to serve the customer, so ask me politely what I need. I understand. She mistook me as an employee here somewhere. However, I'm annoyed that she would treat someone like a serving dog. Me. Sorry, ma'am. I don't actually work here. I pointed at my shirt logo. But if you need help, you can ask me. If I have an answer, I'll help you. Reasonable, right? Apparently not. as this lady looks like I just cursed her to eternal damnation. Her. Bull crap, you don't work here. I've seen you around before. You're just too lazy to help me. Where's your manager? I want to speak to him. Now. He needs to know that his employees are slacking off and talking back to customers. All of my what at this point? I just want to go away so I can finish my job here, as I have 3 more stops after this. Me. Ma'am, my manager isn't here, as I don't work here. Now, if you want, I can find an actual employee to help you, since I need to get back to work. I start looking around for the red shirts so that I can hand the she-beast off to someone else. However, she leaves before I can find one. I thought she understood and left from embarrassment, so I turn back to my task at hand and begin where I left off. Not 3 minutes later do I hear some turmoil to the right of me. Her. He's in this aisle right here. I think you should fire him, the way he spoke to me. If you don't, I'll be filing a complaint to your manager. Manager. Okay, ma'am, we'll see what the trouble's all about. Don't want to be too hasty here. So I turn to notice the lady and presumably a manager for the store walk into my aisle. The manager looks around for a red-shirted employee to question, then notices the lady walking towards me. Manager. He doesn't work for us, however. If you could tell us what happened, we can sort this out with who he does work for. Oh, crap. I don't want a complaint on my first time out. That'd look pretty bad indeed. Me. Sir, I was just packing out our stuff when I noticed this woman whistling and snapping her fingers at me. I asked her what she needed and told her that while I didn't work here, I'd try to answer her question. Then she started yelling and berating me about how I should serve her. Her. I was just trying to get his attention to ask him a question, but he ignored me for the longest time while switching around the bottles on a shelf. Then he started dodging around the fact that he's supposed to be doing a job here and help customers. Manager. Ma'am, his job is to stock those shelves with their product. He doesn't work here. Never has. From what it seems, you were the one harassing him while he was working, so I'm going to have to ask you to stop badgering him. To me. Keep on working. You're doing a good job today. I'll make sure to tell your supervisors that. Sweet. I get this lady off my back, and I get a positive referral to my boss. However, the lady had one more question. Her. But wait, I never had my question answered. Manager. Well, what's your question? Her. I wanted to know where our seltzer product I've been looking around the store forever is. Manager. Me. What flavor? Her. Huh? Me. I said what flavor? And I pointed to the shelf. Her. Now you're just making fun of me. You stood in front of the shelf on purpose so I couldn't see. I'm 6'2", but by no means broad enough to cover the entire shelf. After that last exclamation, the lady stomped off, leaving her cart full. We heard mutters of sending a strongly worded letter to chain management and how this generation is really an entitled generation and what happened to kids. This naturally leaves the manager and I in stunned silence. Manager. Sorry about that. I'll make sure this doesn't go up the chain to you. Have a nice day. He then leaves with the cart and takes me about half an hour or longer to finish the stop. You know the funny thing? The very next door, I had another middle-aged lady come up to me. She actually asked if I worked there. But I replied that while I didn't, I'd be happy to help. Another glowing recommendation from that store after the aforementioned nice lady gushed about how helpful I was to that store's manager. And our third story. Which way to the hospital? Hey, I know you hear me. So in school, I either had to wear scrubs or dress clothes depending on what day it was. This was a scrub day. I was already attending school 1,000 miles from my hometown, and now my latest clinical rotation was 240 miles from my new town. I'd never been there before. So as soon as classroom instruction ended for the day, I started my road trip to get settled in and start my rotation the next day. I got into town, my new home for the next 6 days, and stopped at a gas station to fill up, freshen up, and make sure I was looking decent to meet my host family. I parked at the pumps and headed into the store just as a guy was walking from the store to the pumps to get some gas. As I passed him, he exclaimed, "Hey man, where's such and such hospital?" Me. "Oh, I'm sorry sir, I'm not from here. I don't know the town." Him. "Bullcrap, you're an EMT. Don't know where the hospital is? Why you being such a jerk, dude?" Me. No, I'm not an EMT. I just got into town. Never been here before. I can try and look it up on my phone for you. Him. You must be a crappy EMT, not even willing to offer this tiny bit of help. Me. I'm not an EMT. I'm not a paramedic. I've been in this town approximately 12 minutes now. At this point, I unrolled my sleeve to show him my school patch, which clearly said nothing about being an EMT/paramedic. The school wanted our patches hidden when in the real world. Him. To my astonishment. What GD ambulance company do you work for? I'm calling your boss and getting your butt canned. Don't you walk away. I know you hear me. So I just walked away in bewilderment. Partially laughing, partially PO'd, partially looking for the hidden cameras in Ashton Kutcher. I went inside, paid for my goods, and came back to my car when, lo and behold, guess who's standing next to it? He motioned for me to come over. I shook my head, no. So he started yelling at me from the next pump. You're a real a-hole, buddy. I got your company name, and I'll be calling him as soon as I leave. I'm insisting you get fired. I can't believe this. As he keeps going, I see a police car, window down, pulling in behind him. I don't know if someone called or if he just happened to pass by, but he pulls between us and asks what the problem is. The guy starts telling how I'm being a jerk, etc. The cop walks up to me, and a woman from the next pump comes over and tells him, I've been calm the entire time. This lunatic has been baiting me. So the cop goes back to tell him to leave me alone and get out, when suddenly dude snaps out of it. He starts apologizing and walking over with his hand out to shake. He then takes the squeegee out and starts cleaning my windows. It was bizarre. In the end, I kind of felt bad for the guy. I think he was just having a bad day. People rarely go to the hospital for fun reasons, and he probably just kind of flipped. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.